Hi, welcome to another episode of Health Culture. Today we're going to be talking about mental health, and I've invited Dr. Brar here today to allow me to share some observations with her about how people act and get a medical explanation for them. The first thing I want to talk about, or something I've observed, is something I saw in England. When I lived there, I saw a major contrast between how people act during the winter and during the summer. Coming from California, I was not used to the really dark and gloomy winters, and I noticed during that time people often were sad and not very upbeat. They tended to gravitate to the dark pubs and spend many of the evenings there, or hide behind their fish and chips, and did not really have the energetic personalities that came out when the flowers came out in the spring. As soon as the sun came out and all the greenery, people were totally different, wanting to take walks, go out, go shopping, doing other things outside of the indoors. And so, Dr. Brar, is there a medical explanation to better understand that contrast in people's personalities?
Well, Priya, actually there is. There's a condition called seasonal affective disorder, and it's a condition in which people can become kind of depressed in the winter months when there's no sunshine outside. And it's diagnosed when people have these symptoms for 3 consecutive winters. And the characteristics include, eating more, sleeping more, being lethargic, and craving carbohydrates. And you might have a depressive episode. But I have to say, it's not, I'm sure you noticed it more in England, but this can happen anywhere, and it's not in everybody. Some people are just more prone to having seasonal affective disorder.
Interesting. So this sounds like a type of depression. Is this different than the traditional depression we hear about?
This is different from traditional depression. The characteristics of depression include loss of interest, not being able to concentrate on your work, sleeping less actually, and not wanting to engage in activities, finding activities that you once used to love not as fun anymore. Also, it can include eating less and sleeping less, and just really not having a good mood anymore. And this is different from seasonal affective disorder, in which that is more prevalent in the winter months when there's no sunshine, and usually you recover when the sun is back out.
Okay, and what are some of the things that people can do to overcome depression?
Well, for seasonal affective disorder, actually you can get bright lights for indoors to simulate the sunshine. Okay. This will, stimulate the neurotransmitters and so forth in your brain, and help your body to react better. For regular depression, I really advise seeking help from your doctor and getting the appropriate treatment for your symptoms, whether it be therapy or medical treatment with medicines. And also, a lot of people will take that first step to see their doctor, but then they will stop taking their medications if they don't see instant results. But it's really important to know that some of these medications take up to 6 weeks to really get in your body and start working. So don't stop taking your medications just because you don't get instant relief. And if you have side effects that are making you miserable and you just don't want to take your medication anymore, then go back and see your doctor and see about getting your medication changed to a more suitable one.
Okay, I'm going to be honest here. As an ethnic minority group here in America, are you noticing those same things in minority communities? And what do you suggest for people like us?
I most definitely have noticed that people from other minority groups don't really address depression as much as Americans and people in the West do. And I think there are several reasons for this. One being that, at least I know in my culture, mental health issues just aren't really addressed. People are embarrassed to admit them, and it sort of seems like a sign of weakness. So you just want to get over it, instead of seeing a doctor for it. They don't see it as a real medical issue. But sometimes it's not just the way you feel or an episode that made you depressed. Sometimes it's in your brain. You actually have a chemical imbalance. So I really urge everybody to see their doctor, because everyone deserves to live a fulfilling life and to be happy. So I recommend seeing your physician, and you may not need to be in medicine. You may need just therapy or, both. So there's no shame in admitting that you might be depressed. I think that the outcome of getting help is far better than not admitting the problem at all, because you could end up leading a much more fulfilling life.
Oh, thank you so much. Well, these have been some observations, some concerns I've had, and Dr. Brar, again, your advice and your recommendations have not only given me a better understanding, but hopefully our viewers can tackle their mental health issues and live a better life as a result of this. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Priya.